In the dawn of humanity, when the gods walked among mortals, a story was forged in fire and deception, a tale we thought we knew. The story of Pandora and her infamous box. But what if the version we've been told is a lie? What if the most cherished gift from that box was in fact the most terrifying curse of all? Our story begins not with a woman, but with a titan, Prometheus. He was a champion of mankind, a rebel who defied the gods of Olympus. In an audacious act of compassion, he stole fire from the heavens and gifted it to the fledgling human race. With fire, humanity began to build, to create, to think. They stepped out of the cold darkness and into the light of knowledge and progress. But this act of kindness was seen as an act of treason by Zeus, the king of the gods. His rage was boundless. He devised a punishment not just for Prometheus, but for all of mankind, a punishment so subtle, so insidious, it would poison their very existence forever. He ordered Hephaestus, the smith of the gods, to craft a creature of irresistible beauty. He molded her from earth and water, and the goddesses bestowed upon her their finest gifts. Athena gave her wisdom and skill, Aphrodite gave her unparalleled beauty, and Hermes, the messenger god, gave her a cunning, deceitful heart and a persuasive tongue. They named her Pandora, meaning all gifted. She was Zeus's perfect, beautiful weapon. A living, breathing Trojan horse sent to the world of men. As a final, fatal touch, Zeus presented Pandora with a wedding gift, a sealed jar, or as later translations would call it, a box. He gave her one simple, yet impossible, instruction. Never, under any circumstances, are you to open this. He then sent her to Epimetheus, the guileless brother of Prometheus. Prometheus had warned his brother never to accept a gift from Zeus, but one look at Pandora and all caution was forgotten. Epimetheus was enchanted, and he welcomed her into his home and into the heart of humanity. For a time, there was peace. Pandora and Epimetheus lived in a world free from suffering, a golden age where men and women knew no toil, no sickness, no aging, and no death. But the box, or the Mythos jar, sat in their home, a silent, pulsing enigma. Pandora's curiosity, a gift and a curse from the gods, began to gnaw at her. What treasures could be hidden inside? What divine secret was Zeus so desperate to keep locked away? The whispers in her mind, planted there by Hermes, grew louder each day. The temptation became unbearable. One fateful day, when Epimetheus was away, she could resist no longer. Her hands trembled as she approached the jar. With a final, hesitant breath, she lifted the lid. What emerged was not treasure. It was a maelstrom, a cacophony of shrieking, shadowy forms that burst forth like a plague. These were the spites, the evil Zeus had trapped within. Sickness, jealousy, greed, hatred, pain, famine, war, and death itself. They swarmed out into the pristine world, invisible demons released from their prison, and immediately began to torment humanity. They spread like a contagion, infecting every corner of the earth, turning the golden age to rust and ruin. Horrified, Pandora slammed the lid shut, but it was too late. The world was forever changed, irrevocably scarred. All the evils were free. All but one. As Pandora wept in despair over the devastation she had unleashed, she heard a faint, tiny voice from within the jar. It was a gentle, fluttering sound, a whisper begging to be released. Fearing what other horror might remain, she hesitated. But the voice was persistent, promising solace, not suffering. Cautiously, Pandora lifted the lid one last time. Out flew a delicate, shimmering creature, a being of soft light that did not attack or torment. This was Elpis, the spirit of hope. It fluttered around the weeping Pandora, soothing her terror, and then flew out into the now blighted world, not to erase the evils, but to offer humanity a way to endure them. And this is the story we all know. The story that tells us even in the darkest of times, when all seems lost, we have hope. a comforting tale. But it's a lie. We need to look closer. Why would Zeus, in his infinite cruelty, place a single good thing among a legion of evils? Does a jailer place the key to escape inside the cell with his prisoners? The gods are not known for their kindness, especially not Zeus when he seeks revenge. The original Greek texts are where the truth begins to unravel. The word elpis doesn't just mean hope in the positive sense we know. It has a dual meaning. It can also mean expectation, or more darkly, the anticipation of a future event, whether good or bad. So, what was the true nature of this final spirit in the jar? Let's reconsider the scene. Pandora has just unleashed every conceivable misery upon the world. Humanity is now plagued by disease, war, and despair. They suffer, they age, they die. In this new reality, what is the function of hope? The other evils are straightforward. Sickness attacks the body. Greed corrupts the soul. Death provides an ultimate, final end. They are active torments. But hope is different. It is passive. It is insidious. While all the other curses were released to actively plague mankind, hope was kept inside the jar, inside our world, trapped with us. The other evils flew out to do their work, but hope remained behind to live among us. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche saw this clearly. He wrote, "Zeus did not want man to throw his life away, no matter how much the other evils might torment him, but rather to go on letting himself be tormented anew. To that end, he gives man hope. In truth, it is the most evil of evils because it prolongs man's torment. Think about it. The other evils give us pain, but they also give us a reason to end it. An animal caught in a trap, facing a slow, agonizing death, might chew off its own leg to escape. It's a terrible choice, but it is a choice. It's an escape from suffering. But what if that animal hoped the trapper would return and set it free? It would wait. It would endure the pain, day after day, clinging to a fragile possibility, prolonging its own agony indefinitely. That is the curse of hope. It is the ultimate tool of control. It makes us endure the unendurable. It chains us to a life of suffering with the promise of a better tomorrow that may never come. Hope is the leash that keeps us tethered to the very evils that torment us. It prevents us from seeking true release, from making the hard choices, from rebelling against our miserable fate. It whispers, "Just one more day. It will get better." Every other evil that flew from the jar was an honest affliction. You know when you are sick. You know when you are at war. But hope is a liar. It is a beautiful, shimmering, comforting lie. It is the anesthetic that allows the torture to continue. Without hope, humanity, faced with the unending barrage of suffering, might have simply given up. They might have refused to play Zeus's cruel game. But with hope, they toil on. They fight pointless wars. They endure crushing poverty. They suffer through plagues, always believing, always expecting that salvation is just around the corner. Zeus's punishment was not the box of evils. That was merely the stage. The true punishment, the masterstroke of his divine cruelty, was hope. He trapped us in a prison of pain and gave us a phantom key. A key that doesn't unlock the door, but merely makes the cell more bearable. He ensured that humanity would not only suffer, but that they would willingly perpetuate their own suffering, generation after generation, forever distracted by a flickering light at the end of a tunnel that has no end. The story of Pandora's box is not a tragedy with a happy ending. It is a horror story from start to finish. We are not the blessed inheritors of hope. We are the cursed prisoners of it. The box was opened thousands of years ago, and we have been living inside it ever since. The evils surround us, and the most dangerous one of all is the one we cherish the most, the one that whispers sweet nothings in our ear while the world burns around us. The next time you feel a glimmer of hope in a dark time, ask yourself, is this a gift, or is it simply the tightening of the chain? Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, consider subscribing for more explorations into the shadows of our most cherished myths.